Okay. Hello, everybody. And today we're going to continue our speech and analysis for William Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, or shall I compare you to a summer's day? Um, let's refer back to our an authentic recitation for the sonnet, and then we drop back to the discussion about the sonnet.
Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee.
Okay. Sonnet 18, we can say that Sonnet 18 is a typical Shakespearean sonnet. In order to indicate that, or to investigate that, or to prove that, we need to basically look at the way William Shakespeare divides his sonnet. Basically, the sonnet is divided into 4 parts, 3 quatrains and 1 couplet. Even in the rhyme and the ending sound, which is the rhyme of the sonnet, it can be said that this sonnet is a Shakespearean sonnet. The reason behind that is Shakespearean sonnets, or the way Shakespeare writes his sonnet, is basically the rhyme, the first clue. We said that the division of the sonnet into 4 parts, 3 quatrains, and 1 couplet, and the rhyme, which is the rhyme of the Shakespearean sonnet. Basically, is followed in this way: A B A B, C D C D, E F E F, and G G. When we look to the sonnet, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Okay, we can say that the first line, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? This one, a day a, okay, which takes the rhyme a. Then thou art more lovely and more temperate. Then here we have the second rhyme, t, t. Fine. Let's move to the third line. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. So here, the rhyming here is A because it is consistent. It follows the same rhyme of day and May. Day and May. Fine. And summer's leads help to short date. T and temperate. Look here. Temperate and date. Temperate and date. The final sound here is T. So the first couplet of the Shakespearean sonnet is rhyming A, B, A, B. A and A are rhyming in the sound A, A. Okay, B and B are rhyming in the sound T, T. Okay, the same thing can be followed and extended to the following couplets, as you can: shines and shines, for example, D and D, dimmed and trimmed, D and D, fade and shade, E, E, owest, growest, F, F, and the last part of the Shakespearean sonnet here is divided or is rhyming or following the same rhyme. E, E, like in C and V. Okay, so if you don't know that this sonnet is written by William Shakespeare, you can say from the layout and the division of the sonnet that it is a Shakespearean sonnet. The first reason is that the division of the sonnet falls into 4 parts, 3 quatrains and 1 couplet. The second reason to say or to decide that this is a Shakespearean sonnet is the rhyme, because the rhyme of the Shakespearean sonnet falls into AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, and G, G. Okay, now let's move to another part here, which is the Diampic Pentameter, or the internal beat where William Shakespeare followed while writing his poems. Basically speaking, even William Shakespeare, when he was writing his plays, okay, at the time of William Shakespeare, plays were written in verse, not prose, okay, and William Shakespeare, while writing his plays, were writing his plays using verse, and the internal beat that he was following is the iambic pentameter. When we say iambic pentameter, what do we mean by the iambic pentameter? The iambic pentameter is a line of poetry that has 5 feet. Okay. When we want to talk about the feet in the iambic pentameter, a feet is basically divided into 2 or 3 syllables. Now, in order to investigate William Shakespeare's application for the iambic pentameter, let's look at the first line. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, or shall I compare you to a summer's day? I need to drag your attention here that in the modern modifications or translations or interpretations for medieval poetry, okay, the poems that are written in the medieval language and then translated into the modern English language, you cannot trace or depict the rhyme and the musicality of the poem as the rhyme and the internal beat in the modern language. However, you need to refer back to what we call the original text or the original language, which in our case here is the medieval language, in order to study and investigate the musicality of the text, which is represented here in the rhyme and the iambic pentameter. So, in order to study and investigate the iambic pentameter of William Shakespeare's Sonnet 18, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day, we need to refer back to the medieval language. Okay. Look at the table down here. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Now, basically speaking, we must have 5 feet, okay? And each feet is constructed or divided into 2 or 3 syllables. Now, shall, the first word shall is basically 1 syllable. I is another syllable, another 1 syllable. Compare is divided into 2 syllables. Compare. Then the is one syllable. To, one syllable. A, one syllable. Summas, summa, two syllables. Okay, they, one syllable. So here we have, how many syllables do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, we have 5, we have 10 syllables. We have 10 syllables. No, in order to divide these syllables, or to not divide, in order to trace the feet pattern that William Shakespeare followed, we need to combine or see how William Shakespeare feated his lines. Now, shall I? Okay, each two syllables that are going from the lower level to the higher level. Low, shall I, shall I, shall I. Low, high, shall I. Compare. Shall I, okay, the combination of the low syllable, shall, and the high stressed syllable here, it comprises or forms the first feet. This is number one. Number two, compare. Compare is divided into two syllables. Compare. Okay. William Shakespeare here, or this feat, or by pronouncing the word compare, is placing the stress on the second syllable, making it heightened. So, come, the first syllable is low in its intonation, and pair, which is the second syllable, is high in intonation. So, this combination here forms the second feat. Okay, let's move to the third feat. The, two. The is one syllable, two is another syllable. The is low in its prosody or intonation, okay, and two is stressed or closed or has higher prosody. In order to form the third feat, shall I compare the two? Okay, shall I compare the two? Okay, here's the third feat. Okay, and I want you to pay attention to the fourth and the fifth feet, where it might look a little bit tricky. Let's start from the word, let's skip a and start from the word summer. Okay. Here, summer is divided into two syllables. The trick is in summer. In order to complete the 5 feats of William Shakespeare's Iambic Pentameter, we need to place a low prosody at the monosyllabic a, which is will not be stressed here, and the first syllable of summer will gain high prosody. A summer, and then the second syllable of the word summer drops. The second syllable of the word summer drops. So the fourth feat is comprised of a and the first syllable of summer. Now, the fifth feat is comprised from the second syllable of the word summer and the word day, which is one syllable. Okay? Now, let's have another example here. The second line. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. You are is more lovely and more constant or more stable. Let's have a look here. Thou art more lovely, two syllables, and more temperate, three syllables. Temperate, temperate. Now, thou and art, okay, are the first components of the first feat. Low in prosody, thou, high in prosody, odd. This is the first feat. Then more is low in prosody, and lovely is divided into two syllables. So the first syllable goes with more. Okay, more is low in prosody, and the first syllable of the word love is high in prosody to form the second feat. Okay, now the second syllable, ly, lovely, 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 ly, okay, is low in prosody and takes high prosody in order to form the second or in order to form the third feat. Now, more is low in prosody, which is comprised of one syllable, and the first syllable of the word temperate goes with more in order to form the fourth feat. The last feat is comprised from the second and third syllables of the word temperate. Now, let's have a question here. How would you tell that this sonnet or sonnet 18, shall I compare thee to a summer's day, is a Shakespearean sonnet? In order to comprehensively address this question, we need to refer to three main points: the structure, the rhyme, and the internal beat or the iambic pentameter. The structure or the division of the sonnet is basically divided into four parts: first quatrain, second quatrain, and third quatrain. And the fourth part is the couplet. This is about the structure. So the second point is about the rhyme. The rhyme goes in this way: A, B, A, B. So the first line and the third line follow the same rhyme. And the second line and the fourth line have the same rhyme. This is A, B, A, B. Then the fifth line and the seventh line are rhyming as and then C, C. Then the D's in the sixth line and eighth line are rhyming. The same thing can be extended to the 10th and 12th line, E and E, then to the 11th and 13th, F, F, and finally the couplet has two rhyming endings as G and G. In order to talk about, this is the second point, the rhyme of the sonnet. Then the third point is the feat. Okay, William Shakespeare, while writing poetry, was following the iambic pentameter, which is in each line of verse we have 5 feats. In each line of verse we have 5 feats, and each feat is divided into 2 or 3 syllables. An example of that is, shall I compare thee to a summer's day, which can be divided. Shall I is the first syllable, compare is 2 syllables, which forms the second syllable. The two is the third syllable, sorry, and the a with the first syllable of summer is form the fourth feat, the second syllable of summer, and they form the fourth feat. So finally, we can conclude here that Sonnet 18, without knowing that this sonnet was written by William Shakespeare, we can tell that this is a Shakespearean sonnet or a sonnet that follows the Shakespearean pattern or the Shakespearean way of musicality or the Shakespearean style of rhyme. Okay. In the following video, I'm going to talk about and discuss the the analysis of the Sonnet 18 in details.